progress but not complete.
Okay. I don't have a lot of time. Like, I think I got maybe max half an hour. Can I quickly dump a bunch of tips on you about Cursor because I think that you can get more performance for what you're trying to do out of it?
Yeah. So if you only got half an hour, let's do your stuff because
All right. I
I'm
think this can
I'm cool
benefit
with my
you.
stuff. I know what needs to be done. It's just not
Have
complete
you
yet.
ever
It's about
been to
halfway
this
done.
place?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's just done. Well, it used to be done for me.
Did you have a
Oh,
word to them
oh, oh,
about
just
what
because
they named
cocks
it?
burn. Oh, that's what you're saying.
So this is your usage actually. That's why the credits ran out because O1's actually devilishly expensive. Um, that's
Ah, should
look. If you need the reasoning, you need the reasoning. But the issue happens um, when you have big long conversations that go on more because
oh,
each like even just saying can you repeat that please is like $5 worth
yeah,
of
yeah.
inference,
And
like
from what I understand, it's um, the main, the heavy weight of the cost is in the response, not in the prompt. And so where I can, I just say things like, "I'm about to tell you something. When you understood it, just say got it."
yeah.
But every
I
now and
don't
again, I
it's
need
not
to,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not sure whether the effort it would take to reduce that cost is going to help you any, but what I've been doing, I don't know if you noticed on long threat, if you use the
mm,
reasoner you can do like single shot O1 calls and then pull them back in to be processed by 4.0. So that's, I don't know if that
yeah, no,
helps. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've noticed that,
Oh,
and that works quite well.
all right.
But there's uh,
Oh well.
for this phase, what
Look,
I'm
fuck it.
really
Honestly,
asking,
like that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's that's nothing. Given the cost of your time. So, uh, I just wanted to point out,
yeah.
O1
I,
is a pricey beast compared to all the
I'm
others.
aware, but the thing with what we're doing at the moment, which is trying to get that definitions coherent, it needs to know the whole set of definitions,
Yep. Sure.
um,
Yep. So
and
yeah.
that's why I keep on topping it out.
Okay, no worries. So,
Uh,
cursor, yeah, like, just keep going. I just
yeah,
was
yeah,
making you aware. I wasn't saying slow down. I just wanted to point that out because it was surprising to me. But yeah,
yeah.
that's
When it was first launched, I don't remember it being that expensive.
no,
Um,
it always was. I
was
think,
it?
yeah,
Okay, maybe we
pretty
weren't
sure.
just hammering it as much.
Yeah. Right. So this is cursor, which looks exactly like VS Code, and it
Okay.
can do some really cool stuff.
So can you give me a orientation? So
Sure.
cursor being.
Cursor is a it's this is Cursor. They just raised like 60 million bucks a few months ago. They raised 8 million bucks from OpenAI, and it's a IDE for that integrates AI more deeply than GitHub's Copilot. So GitHub's Copilot is an extension, but this
Mm,
enables multi-file editing.
okay.
And I'll show you some of the features that I found most useful and relevant to you. Um, you can probably see the most of it from the settings options that you're given. Um, these are all the models that you can choose from.
Okay. All right.
Interestingly enough, they default you to Claude 3.5 Sonnet because that's what they think is best. And I've been using it today and it's not bad.
Who did they get their investment from?
Uh,
Maybe that's why they're defaulting to Claude. It doesn't matter.
well, OpenAI gave
Um,
them 8 million, so they're clearly choosing the best performing thing and not the OpenAI products.
that's curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, now, now. Where are we? Okay. Codebase indexing. It can index and embed the entire code base, and then you can include that as context, for example. I
That
pull up the chat
is,
and I say
that's
at
very cool.
code base. I want to talk to the whole code base. What is this all about? I can select some very interesting things here. The re-ranker mechanism,
Yeah.
which says that it's going to chunk the code base, re-rank it, and then I can
Smart
also
artifacts.
ask for a reasoning step as well.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, so it's like
Oh, yeah.
chunked embeddings,
That's
and then it's going to
nice.
re-rank them, and then it's going to reason. And then what's cool is it actually shows you what that's doing under the hood. So I thought you could use this to understand a bit more about some of these more exotic algorithms that we don't have time to implement, but it can at least let you understand early on what they do. So
Yeah, I've been using Abacus in but it's not. That was my aim to understand where we switch. Abacus does that, but it does in bit of a shitty way.
right.
But this is
So
much
what it's
nicer.
done is it told you what chunks it was looking at. So it
Mm-hmm.
showed all these chunks, and then I can sort of I can actually take a look at them, which is helpful for debugging, so I can understand how the chunking works.
Yep.
Like this, so the selected area is just what it chunked. Then it re-ranks them to be more important after processing all the retrievals.
Yeah.
And then then the connection failed. So we'll just do that again. But anyway, you can see the point of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Re-ranking chunks, that shouldn't take too long. I'll just stay on this
So,
task until it outputs a result.
how does deal with uh, payment and so on? Do you need to put in a key for each of
So
the
you get
models
what?
that you're
No,
using?
no, you get you can, which is nice of them. So you can preferences, cursor settings. You can choose to put your keys in, but this was an interesting note that they think that it can actually cost more than a pro subscription, and there are some custom model features that it uses that you won't get if you use the OpenAI key.
Oh,
But
have they got some kind of wholesale
they must
agreement
have a
with them?
deal. Yeah, they must have a deal
Yeah.
with OpenAI. You can Anthropic appears to not suffer from that limitation, and Google. And so when you look at you get like a 14-day trial, but whatever. So I got the premium thing for $20, and then you can turn on this usage based pricing, which allows you to get access to where is it? O1 preview, 40 cents per request. So that's not a trivial
That's
amount of
not
money, right?
small, is it?
No,
Yeah.
no. But that's
Yeah.
about sort of what we pay for our stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Um, they also have they allow you to use some of these long context models as well. So if you want, you can actually dump the entire code base into the context window.
Yeah.
Um, so that's interesting. But yeah, and then they show you the requests that you make. And so this was an O1 preview request, when it happened and how much it cost and all that. So,
Where's how much it costs? Did I see that?
well, that's because my window shrunk.
Ah. Ah. Oh, okay. You still don't get the cost
Usage based.
per.
I'm pretty sure there was an extra column, but
Okay. All right.
yeah. Anyway,
But anyway. Yeah.
steep but transparent, and probably cheaper than. Here we go. Summarized there. 201 preview requests, 40 cents per request, 80 cents.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's you get access to all these models, but more importantly, it lets you do multi-file editing. So this is the result it came back. I love the thinking step. Like basically anything with a thinking step these days gets me.
Yeah.
And then yeah, this is sort of what it came up with. If you'd like to skim read it, I can pause or I can carry on.
I'll just skim. Yeah, go on. Carry on. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. Key features. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the
Yeah,
point
okay,
is,
right.
it's able to read the entire code base when you do stuff. It can do edits across multiple files. So, for example, I can go in here, and then I can say, hang on, I'll go into this README, and then I'll start a new chat, and then I'll add some extra context where I'll say, um, at
So you're now talking
files.
about that specific file.
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking about that specific file.
Right. But it continues to consider the context of the thread. Is there.
Yeah, it continues to see the context of the thread as well as like you can actually just grab a section and then add that to chat as well. So it adds just the portion that you selected
Okay.
as well as the full file.
I'm liking this.
It is
Yeah.
pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And then so if I go at mod.ts and then I pick the one in there, right? And then I say I don't need that. So I'll say reconcile the README with the comments in the code.
Beautiful. Yes. I know she provided README file I mentioned, but I don't see the actual contents of the mod TS.
Oh, that's weird. It's a bit of a letdown, isn't it?
Yeah, why not? You told it mod TS.
Yeah, I thought it did.
Does it dynamically change between the models available? So if you ask something,
Yeah, when it does, when you need to do different things, it switches, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure when. I think it also runs multiple steps in the background, where it calls different models for different things to give, to basically then do retrieval for the main model that's running. So yeah, there's all that. That was a bit of a fail, but this has typically worked quite well. So yeah, if I go that, and then I select it and say that I want to chat
acting
about
on
it.
a file base is awesome.
Yeah, so what I was hoping is that what you should be able to do is go you should be able to git clone your whole thing that you had, which was you committed to dream catching, right?
Yep, yep. Although there's quite a lot of old stuff there now, so
Yeah, so that's cool. I'll show you. I'll show you how to get up to speed very quickly. So hopefully this recording is good for you.
so if you go to card game,
No, no, hang on,
the
hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. I need the code. Give me the code. Give me this. Okay, so I'm just gonna clone this down. Hopefully. Okay. And then I go cursor, dream catching.
What's cursor?
Cursor. Well, it used to be if you type code, you get VS Code. All I've done is I've taken the VS Code source and modified it to be cursor. And so when I install cursor, cursor just opens. This is cursor. It's just the VS Code ripoff, knockoff modification, and it's now loading dream catching over an SSH connection inside the cursor IDE.
Okay, cool.
Right? And so now I can do a couple of things. I'm just gonna index. I'm just gonna check on the index status of the code base. Oh no, here we go. Indexing, indexing, indexing. 90% done. Okay, great. Now, this is something that's fucking cool. Docs. So I can go into here, and I can say that I want to add some docs, and I go add new doc. This thing, and I could actually scrape the whole blog.
Yep.
Which I might just do. I'll say this is an experiment. I know that you should never do experiments when you're. Oi! You should never do experiments when you're in a demo.
No, you should, because it's usually quite humorous.
Yeah. Okay. And now I'll call that Dreamcatcher blog. Confirm. And now that begins the process of indexing.
Yeah. Okay.
Or not.
So now these are just new RAG endpoints, I'm guessing, once it's indexed.
Yeah, once it's indexed. There we go. Funding the Dreamcatcher, dawn of inverted apps, unfolding, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, nice.
All right. So that's got all the blogs in there.
Oh, that's nice.
And now I should, if the demo gods are on my side, I should be able to say at docs and then select the Dreamcatcher blog. What is a nap?
There you go. That is very cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get you up to speed quickly with some extra files that you'll need. If you were to select a bunch of folders or files in this thing that you would want to be excluded from that RAG search, would there be any?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, tell me.
I'd probably ignore a lot of the card game stuff, because that is now well out of date. But I'd go through and ignore. I can give you an example, or
what about all of the
choose
assessing, attributing, contributing? Would you ignore all those folders?
Yeah.
So you'd basically exclude everything except for the latest card game.
The latest card game, yeah. That's right.
So exclude everything. Exclude everything in at codebase except for the folder card game / tracer bullet 25.
Okay, and that's like a get ignore. So it's not gonna ingesting that.
Yeah, but it's cursor ignore. So it's like it tells it to ignore everything, but not the card game folder.
And cursor ignore goes into the repo, right?
Yeah, so I'll commit that for you. So you'll need to pull that down again. And what that'll mean is that you can, that'll just help you ground it correctly so it doesn't have a bunch of garbage, because I found that when I was messing with it, that was really influencing the results. Oh, I don't have that. Okay, I'll copy that file over the contents of that file over to you.
Permission. I thought I gave it to you. Well, it's actually open.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
whatever. Anyway, that's the file you need
Cool. Nice one.
because that'll really fuck with your rag if you don't have that. Righto, and then I think because it's kind of beta software, I think I need to just clear the index there. Delete the index and then restink the index. There we go. There we
This is
go.
going to be actually quite useful.
Yeah. And now I want to do something. I'm just trying to sort of speed run the features for you. I can go at folder, at folders, card, oh, card, game. Oh, I don't know what. At folder.
I don't think there's a space between card. Oh, well, there is. Okay.
You and your spaces, my friend.
Sorry about that, man.
There we go.
Fix that.
Tracer bullet 25. There we go. Summarize this thing, please.
Any code blocks for content to summarize.
Summarize this.
That was the same as the last error.
Yeah, there was really.
Because I was looking for code and it's... Oh, no.
I don't see any markdown files.
Well, there's definitely markdown files in there. Just list files.
It's like the folders don't exist. It's like it's missing all the files.
Can you say something like, what files can you see?
Perhaps that ignore was wrong. Let me turn it off.
Of the ignore.
Well, doesn't matter now.
Sorry, I can find that. I can find that. That's fine.
Preference cursor settings. Now I will delete the index. Confirm. Compute the index.
You can see what it's trying to do.
Compute out.
Did you? I know what the problem is here. You didn't sacrifice that chicken before doing a live demo, did you?
Dude, several chickens sacrificed before this demo. in a Mexican salsa too. They're pretty good.
You might need to go for a goat next time.
At folder card game. There we go.
Okay. But the index isn't being reckoned, isn't costing tokens because it's just RAG, right?
Yeah.
So, what gotcha did you get in just bringing the entire thing in?
Sorry. I think the cursor ignore. I had a mistake in it, and I don't know what the mistake is.
Previously you were saying that when you're using this, you had to employ cursor ignore.
Oh yeah, because I'm so in the code base I'm working on at the moment. I'm in the transitioning phase where I've got the existing or old code base is all under import artifact and import HAL, and so it also picked up all the old code and started naming things like that. And like I've got also say like here exe.old. I'm keeping that around for reference so I can read from it periodically. But it represents the wrong ideas. And so uh, Cursor was reading from that and trying to sort of mush the new concepts and the old ones together. And that's why I needed to use the ignore.
I see. But if I understood it, if you're more precise in the prompting, saying, look at this file, this file, this file, or this folder, it would
Yes.
have ignored it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. But the key is if you the problem is if you do that, you don't get to use the at codebase file because at codebase is like consider everything rather than having to sort of pick through it bit by bit.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, cool.
There's another thing you might
Um,
like, which is at Git, which allows you to deal with pull requests, individual commits, or history of files as well, and talk about them.
oh, right. Oh, that
It's
sounds
quite
very
good, right?
useful. I can think immediately of
Yeah,
a use case, but that sounds the sort of thing. And here we go. Right, and it has put, this is the main meat of it.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. This is very cool.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, now I want to say stay inside that folder and insert the concept of decentralized income in all relevant places.
oh, you're not being friendly to the bots there.
That's
Doesn't know
me,
what decentralized income means.
the unfriendly guy.
I see. Okay, let's see what's come up. Cares attribution. Oh, yeah, yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
All right, and now
That's done pretty good job there.
yeah, and so that this user interface bit is a bit jarring, but you got to click this tiny little hidden box here
Mm-hmm.
called Composer,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, what you got to do is you got to go through each generated code block and go apply, and then it will apply it in just the file that
Yeah. Okay. So
that
make changes
that
just to that
and then you
as
got to go
a
through one chunk at a time, and you got to go through the whole lot. But if you
yeah.
click this little hidden button down here, the newest feature is called Composer,
Mm,
and Composer is applies all of the changes all at once to across
right.
all of the files, and so you can see it's rather busy.
Oh man, this is gonna save so much time.
Yeah, dude.
It's basically doing all that cut and pasting.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would really
Oh,
appreciate this. So
oh, this is great.
yeah. And so what it's got is it's like yeah, that this is the thing that can go through multiple
Yeah,
files all at once and
and
change them.
you can read it. Can you edit? Say if I didn't get it quite right, can you propose some changes there? Say
Yeah.
in contribution, can you edit? It's
The
uh,
suggestion.
yep.
I don't know if you can do that. You can edit it in the thing obviously, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can fiddle around with that. But you can also select things that are in the chat and
Mm,
then add it to the chat.
okay.
Wait. Did that work? No, I think it's only if you chat if you so Control K is chat in here. So if I chat in band or in
Okay.
if I chat in the actual document, what I can do is oh wait, what's going on? You can actually add the chats to another chat and talk about the chat. So like
Chats.
you get this thing that goes at chat.
Oh, and that is the its response to your last
Yeah, yeah. So you can when you've
sentence.
been yeah. So that's sort of quite fun. and you can like select stuff here and go, oh shit. You can select it here and go add to chat. What the hell? I think my the view's going a bit weird
Yeah, no worries.
because we're
But
in
I get the
yeah,
gist
you
of it.
get the point, right? So like
Yeah.
add to chat, and then it like just inserts just the just the area that you selected.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it's like cross file, cross code base, works
Ah,
inside of readmes, can follow instructions. The other area that you will find useful is the custom instructions area. So under general, you can put your prompts in here.
right. Well, is that like a sys prompt for
Yeah,
the whole
sys
thing?
prompt. Yeah, yeah. And now there was a site I found that was. I'll paste it to you actually. This site has a bunch of cursor rules files. So this file can also be replaced by a file called .cursor rules, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically your loading prompt that you can insert. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you go in there, you can find different types of rules that people have chosen to use for different types of uses, like React with React
Yeah.
components
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's like the cursor prompt that people have found is useful um, for that particular
Curtain stability,
type of
clause,
thing.
purpose, functionality, etc. Yeah. Yeah. All the usual stuff. Identity, custom logic. Yep. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that sort of gives you an idea of if you feel the need to prompt cursor a bit more. That's one of your options. Now, what were the other features that were good for you? Um, but yeah, Docs is gold, absolute gold.
Mm.
I think that's it. So yeah, I think this can help you out
Yeah.
because it lets you do what you're doing. You can change, yeah, like you can set that model to O1 preview there if that's
And
what
that
you want.
will. Um. I'm not sure this is going to be obvious or not. But when you change models, you're ingesting the totality of the thread.
Yeah, it appears to pick up the whole thread when you change models mid-thread. I,
Right.
I don't really like changing
Well.
models mid-thread, whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, it does. I have like I found that Sonnet was not helping me out with a TypeScript problem. Then I
Mm-hmm.
argued with it, then switched to O1 Preview, and O1 Preview gave me the answer. So it does appear to take in the totality of the chat. I'm sure
Yeah.
that these guys are applying some kind of truncation in there. Um,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, sorry. One last feature that you will probably want because I know you is in the beta features, you can get long context. And long context, when you select a long context switch, you have to change it with where was it? I think you got to start it with the brand new when you start a brand new chat,
Mm-hmm.
and like the UI is kind of a nightmare because oh here we are normal chat. If you go to long context chat, then it doesn't dump embeddings into the chat. It dumps the whole like
Right.
200k. It fills the whole context window with your code. But in your case, your readmes, that's kind of exactly what you wanted
Oh
for a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
it.
Because the long context, I'm getting really good results by just dumping in definitions and
Yeah,
saying this is a system.
yeah, yeah,
Here
yeah,
it
yeah,
is. Boom.
yeah,
And then working from there.
Mm.
The trick on that one, I guess, would be the stuff that you dump in if you want to get good results. It needs to be very coherent. If it's including all sorts of prompt response, where you're kind of fluffing around, it's
Yeah.
going to be less coherent.
Yeah. So what I would suggest to you is to. I would love to be able to understand more about the stuff you do as well. And
Uh-huh.
so, like, you've been working in your own structure for a while,
Yeah.
but maybe it's be a good idea to stuff all this stuff into a single folder or something, and then make yourself a dedicated folder that's like the new thing,
Yeah.
and
To be
then
honest, a lot of this can be archived because we were fumbling
right,
around.
yeah, right.
So it might even be a new repo.
Well, you could just create a tag in GitHub and just or not make a tag. I guess it doesn't make a difference, and then just delete all the stuff you don't want, and then that way you sort of preserve the history as well, but you
Yeah.
get the same effect as an empty repo, and then off you go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I haven't played with this part, but it can interpret images. So if you want to like give it a diagram and then get it to sort of turn it into a README or understand it in some way, I think it can do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. My personal preference, given what we're talking about how my brain works, I never really go to images.
Yeah, right.
Um,
But yeah, fun tool
but
for
yeah,
you. You'll
that
probably
is.
you got it. You'll probably have to sign up to the pro one and then enable that special feature for usage based pricing so that you can get access to O1.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah,
what's the cost of this? Because you could rack up quite a big bill. I've
well
never done
you
that.
can set a spend limit, so that's helpful. So you can set a spend limit and get an idea of it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, if see how you go for like the first day, and if it gets pricey, hit me up and I'll put it under the business expenses, and then
Yeah. Okay.
because
Cool.
just whatever you do, don't skimp on tokens. Like this is not the time to be trying to save money on tokens. It's
Yeah.
the amount of
That's
money is nothing compared to the cost of delay.
well. The irritating thing is when I top out the tokens and I get put on the naughty step. You've spent too much money with us. It's like,
You
oh,
don't. It just runs out of money. It's just that I put that limit in there to stop because the website is open. Someone could come in and inadvertently burn like if I put $1,000 in there, they could
oh
just burn
yeah,
it in
yeah,
half an hour
yeah.
by accident.
And also, there's that time that we put that loop in there, and it's like $127 in no time.
Yeah. So that's this. The limited funds are there to protect my bad coding, or excuse it.
I'm
Um,
so glad that was your problem, not mine.
yeah, I know, but yeah, that's the purpose of that. So yeah,
All
man,
right,
give it a shot.
that is usually useful. I will use this for a day or two and then get back to you
Hmm.
because this stuff I'm doing at the moment would is right up this uh, tool in terms of um, working
Yeah.
on a single doc and then generating. How is it with displaying diagrams? Does it do, you
Ah,
know, like
like
mermaid
mermaid.
or?
Well, yes and no. So I don't know if it shows it in the text.
Mm, I mean, it's not a biggie. Um,
But what you can do about that is you could get it to write the mermaid diagram to the README file here, and then
mm,
you'd go get a plugin for mermaid to visualize them in Markdown, and then I think it's this one I want. I mean, 2.1 million installs can't be wrong, right?
I think it's the fallacy of the masses there.
There we go. And then If I say write that to a new file,
Where does that write go to?
well,
When you say write, is it into your repos somewhere?
to save it to a file. Okay, apply, create new file. Well, that's fun. Here we go.
It's just dumping it at the
Well,
top.
because I told it to make up a name, so it's not like,
Fair enough.
it's not as bad, really. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, pick a name, and it's like, what kind of a coder are you?
yeah.
And then I think that I need to change that to be .md.
Yeah, why is it dot? What is .mmd?
.mermaid. And then I need to put it in the blocks. So, okay, fine, a bit of
Okay, it's a bit of a path, but
a fucking dance, but
it's
whatever. And
okay.
then there's a diagram, so ta-da.
All right, cool. All right, this will
Yep.
be very useful.
Okay, fun times, fun times. So, listening to those calls, you talk about. Sorry, was there anything from your side that you wanted to urgently drop on me before I have to run away?
No, because you've only got about what 5-10 minutes
5 minutes,
left.
yeah.
So,
Okay. So this was the key concept I was trying to get at the other day, is that Ethereum doesn't exist. It's our platform, when it starts working as designed, doesn't actually. The entity of the platform is the emergent property of the coordination of thousands of different computers.
yes, I've actually taken the bold step of renaming the entire thing as in the Dreamcatcher ecosystem, not the platform, um, because of
Right.
the variant ways of doing it. But
Yeah.
the
So the way that the Ethereum context diagram would go is that they would call the ecosystem all the extra apps and businesses and things like crypto exchanges. All those things would be the ecosystem of Ethereum, but they call the chain itself the Ethereum network, I think. But
it's still a single chain, though, isn't it? And we always talked about multi-chain.
that's right, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you'd call it a blockchain. Like, that's what a blockchain is this thing that is an entity but isn't an entity. It's only an entity because thousands of individual entities said that this thing that doesn't exist is a thing,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we want for our platform. Like, the Dreamcatcher should be able to be referred to as the Dreamcatcher blockchain, and it doesn't matter if it's like lots of chains or because there are other chains in the world that have multiple chains within them. Everyone still just calls them a blockchain, like the Cosmos blockchain. But it's a network of chains, but it's also running on a network of computers. So I don't know how we're going to reconcile that language in there, but I notice you talking a lot about the platform as though it's an entity, and it may be splitting hairs too much to introduce it now, but the true nature of it is this emergent thing.
No, I think actually, and I said I don't know, halfway through reconciling what was last with our previous conversations. But if I can grab the screen,
Yep, sure.
let me make sure I don't accidentally show my pants.
And I should also maybe not show the plans to provide alternate currency denominations.
There you go. So this is a render. Now it's not correct, but the interesting thing is, it is deduced the fact that everything goes through a common ledger. I've not described the common ledger. I've talked about
Right.
contribution.
Right.
So I'm getting close to the point of getting the definitions to infer what you just said.
Oh, yeah? That's cool.
which is the benefit of renders, right?
Yeah,
Because you
so
can look at
yeah,
it.
yeah. So I think the contribution ledger is actually something about the blockchain history. It's not just contribution. It's like all the state changes or all the
It is like that, and
you know
I quite like contribution because contribution is someone has done something to do
yeah,
to
it's
make a
it's a
state
funny one.
change.
Like it's right on the edge of being okay in terms of
Yeah,
describing technically what it does, but it definitely wins in terms of the social aspect of what we want to convey. It's like any
yeah,
change is a contribution.
yeah. But if you look at this was a single prompt from the current commit of the definitions I've got. And it decided that in order to do this, you needed this contribution ledger. If you notice, everything goes through the contribution ledger in terms of recording stuff that's happened. Um, but it's doing a pretty good job of saying um, if there's not a state change, then we're not recording it. So, for
Yeah.
example, they use naps, provide naps. It's like, okay, so we don't need to record that. The fact that you've got a nap is not very interesting. Dynamically composed jitters, not not something you should do. Provide feedback, yeah. Record usage, that goes into the contribution ledger. So this is not correct, but it was quite interesting that it generated the need for a ledger out
Mm.
of the definitions. Um,
Mm.
it's
Did it choose the database icon?
Yes, I did nothing other than prompt it. In fact, let's see if we can show
That's
you the
very funny.
prompts. Oh, that's the other one. This is less useful.
Mm.
I think it's quite right. I'm hoping I'm not going to show anything weird here. Yeah, okay. I was going to show you the prompt. The
Yeah.
prompt was, oh, there it is. There you go. Right. Syntax error. Yeah, okay. So give me the process within the Dreamcatcher platform. That was the prompt for that diagram.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is something every time I use this methodology, let's call it, of you working on a single set of definitions with renders, uh, the progress is getting faster and faster because you can spot obvious things, but also you don't have to necessarily, if it implies the existence of something that you haven't stated, it will put it in. And generally speaking, it will get it right. If it gets it wrong, then that's something that you need to state. So if I was to go up one level, I'd say
Right.
that
Right. So
the
like you're
definitions.
taking advantage of its natural assumptions and deductions, and if it gets them wrong, that means you've got some prompting to do.
Well, yeah, but also the definitions should be the minimal necessary to get correct renders every time.
Yeah. Not too much. Not over constrained.
Yeah,
Ah, that's an interesting pass that I hadn't thought about. Like once you get it working okay, you need to run another cycle, which is the crushing cycle,
yeah, you
where
need
you
to
try and
strip
take
out
bits out and make
unnecessary
sure
stuff.
that all the render checks still pass, and then
Yeah,
so that you don't end up with anything that's superfluous.
yeah, exactly. Because if you're defining every small thing, where do you
Mm.
stop?
All right, and then I
Um,
wonder if you couldn't make some kind of a reasonable guess as to which renders which definitions affected the most by removing them or degrading them, the definitions, and seeing which render checks failed. So
oh,
you know,
that's an
like
interesting idea.
yeah,
It's like how brittle is this?
well, how much does this piece connect to that other piece, right? And
Yeah,
you can start to sort of group things or segment things because there's always, like the human brain, there's always pieces you can actually fully take out and no one will really notice. But some
Right.
pieces are like super important.
I like that. I like that. So this might be confirmation bias, but I've been thinking along the lines of something similar you just said, where you build up the definitions and render, 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 and you go do, do, and every time you render, you're putting in more rules, and then I think the next step is you collapse the rules, um, and all the renders stay the same because the more you put
Yeah,
into
it's
the
like breathing. It's
context,
like a
the
breathing
more it's gonna.
cycle. You're like inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling,
Yeah,
and you need to do that cleanup because otherwise you'll get like cancers or
yeah,
cysts
yeah.
that can
Or
form.
uh, even small things I've noticed. If you consistently misspell artifact sometimes, but not other times, then it starts to think that there's two things: artifact with an I, artifact with an E. Um,
Right. Right.
so the reduction that kind of reduce
Mm.
cycle seems to be quite important.
So
I'm
so
not entirely sure
what I've been
yet.
thinking about figuring out next, like this reasoner workbench is definitely the future, but it seems like it can be run in real time. So even while you're having a conversation with someone, it can be reconciling against the knowledge tree,
Yeah.
and it can be
Yeah.
correcting you when you say things that are wrong, and it can be asking you confirmation if you're saying things that are giving it more insights into what the knowledge tree
Mm,
should be, right? And then
yeah.
once you can turn that into a team exercise where multiple people can be looking at a knowledge tree that's bigger than all of them, or they want to be in consensus about because they're a team, like a globally distributed team, for example, then it gets that's the social network aspect. And I think that gets quite exciting where like you're just busy minding your own business in the day, and then you're seeing the knowledge graph change because your buddies are having a chat in a coffee shop and it's being reconciled sort of in real time. Like that's
That's a really interesting take that I hadn't thought about. But yes, the methodology of having these definitions can be applied to anything we want. We're applying it in this one place.
mm.
Um,
Hey,
but
where's the
what it
stux in this diagram?
I haven't asked it to display stocks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I could. Where is it? Well, let's see. Because I was saying this is where's my prompt? Okay. Jared,
You might you might find you'll have to switch out of plant UML to get good results in cursor, I think.
I'm not wedded to UML. It just
Yeah, there's
it's got certain features like boxes within boxes that Mermaid struggles with.
well, try some of the other diagrams. Like a class diagram sounds a lot like some of the things that you're talking about. There's also like a box diagram for Mermaid, which does like what the name says.
Uh, yeah, I'm very happy, and it's actually agnostic to the actual render. As you know, renders can be even anything up to um, anything up to a podcast. Renders are completely independent of the underlying thing. It just is helpful. No, where's my thingy? Where's
Oh,
my render? There it is. This is what I'm
oh, yeah,
using
let
at the
me.
moment.
Right. I'm gonna have to go, but I can stick around for about 10 minutes while I upload this video. Are you okay if I stop recording now?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start the upload process. So I'm still here, but